Algebra students, have I told you lately that I miss you? Because I do miss you guys. I hope that you are having a great start to your week. Please don't forget that you can always be asking us for help. Message us on Schoology, or if you let the deans know that you need help, or whoever's doing your daily check-in, they'll contact us. We would really love to make sure that you are being successful. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the 7-4A and 7-4B today on this worksheet. Okay, we are not going to do 7-4C. That is just something that we decided we could skip because distance learning. So if you want to cross out 7-4C, feel free, but we're going to do 7-4A and 7-4B. Okay, so 7-4A, today we're going to be able to identify the characteristics of a graph. So characteristics means different parts. So we're going to be able to identify parts of a graph. And we're going to translate. Translate means to change. So like if you translate English to Spanish, you're changing the language. So we're going to translate a graph into an equation. So we're going to change the graph into an equation in slope-intercept form. So remember slope? Today we're working on it with a graph. So we're going to think rise over run. There's two ways to do slope. Rise over run is one of them. Our y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. Okay? And slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So last week and the week before, you were working on having an equation and making a graph out of it. Now we're just doing it but backwards. Okay, so we're going to write the equation of this line in slope-intercept form. The first thing that we need for slope and intercept form, slope-intercept form, is we need to know what is the slope and what is the y-intercept. Those are the two parts. So to find slope, we need to find 2 points on this graph. So remember that's where this crosshairs, kind of where it goes over that background where those three. Okay, so here's a point. That's not one because it doesn't have the horizontal. It's nice that I have this plus sign so I can kind of see if it makes a plus in the background. Here it makes a plus. Okay, no, no, no. We really only need 2 points, but we can do all three if that works. And we're going to do our rise and run. So I like to go up. So I always like to rise up, run over. Rise up, run over. Either way, you should get the same answer. You could do it the other way as well. So every time we do this, my rise, it goes up 1, and it runs over, and we count the jumps. So it goes over 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I need to think, is this a positive or a negative slope? Is this going to go uphill, puff, puff, positive, or downhill? Nice, negative. This one's going downhill, and I know that because we always start on the left and go to the right, and it's going downwards. So it's going to be negative 1/4. Okay, that's the slope. Now our y-intercept is where it crosses that y-axis. Okay, our y-axis is our vertical axis. That is a beautiful straight line, Miss Morel. Thank you, guys. Just kidding. But our y-intercept here is 2. So the y-intercept is 0, 2. So now we need to fill in the y equals mx plus b. And m is the slope, and b is that y-intercept. I'm just going to put int for intercept. So we're going to say y equals, and m comes first. So m is our slope, and our slope is negative 1/4. So negative 1/4 x plus, and then where does it cross that y-intercept? Crossed it at 0, 2, because that's my b. My b is that y-intercept crosses that at 2. So y equals negative 1/4 x plus 2. That's it. Okay, we're just going to practice with a few more. If you want to try and work ahead, you can. Okay, so we're going to identify our slope. Our slope is rise over run. And try and make sure I do this with green today. Rise over run. I'm going to notice that this is a puff, puff, positive slope. It's going uphill. So I'm going to find some points. No. This one has a horizontal. No, no. Right here, it has that vertical and that horizontal in the background, okay? Not a point, nope, nope, yep. No, 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 yep. Okay, and we really only needed 2 points. I did 3 points, and that's fine. But now we're going to do our rise and our run. So rise up, run over, rise up, run over. I always like to rise up. Okay, because when I'm in court and they say, all rise, I think, oh, I have to stand up. Okay, so I'm going to jump up 1, 2. So each time it jumps up 1, 2. So my rise is 2. And it runs over 1, 2, 3 jumps. Remember, we're counting jumps. Okay, and then like we said, it was puff, puff, positive. It's going uphill. Okay, y-intercept is where it crosses that y-axis. Oh, whoa. That is almost like a perfect straight line. So impressed with myself. Can you tell that I'm bored? Okay, so my y-intercept is right there. And this is 0, so this would be 1 because it's counting by 1. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0, 1. Okay, so this is my B. This is my M. I'm still going to start out with that, with the template. Y equals, and I want MX plus, and then a B. So my M goes first. That's the 2/3. That goes in front of the X. And then plus B. B is the 1. And there's my equation. So if you can find the slope and you can find the y-intercept, you are good to go. Okay, last one. We're going to identify the slope. The first thing that we are noticing, or that I notice about this, is that it's going downhill, down to the negatives. So I know my slope is going to be negative. So that's the first thing I'm going to remember, because if that's the only thing I'm goofing up, IXL is going to be really tough because it's going to count it wrong. Okay, so make sure that it's a negative, and that negative always goes on the top. Okay, so it's going down. So I have a point here, here, here. There's lots of points on this graph. Okay, we could rise up and over if you want, like we have been doing, or if you like to go down and over, you can do it that way too. Remember to follow the vertical and the horizontal. So every time it goes down 1, so it's just 1 jump, and then it runs over 1, so -1 over 1. Now, if we can divide this, we don't want to leave it as -1 over 1. Anytime something's over 1, it's just the top number. So it's just going to be -1. I should have left a little bit more space here. Not bad. For some reason, my eraser is on the biggest setting. -1. That is a terrible -1. -1. Okay, so now we're going to identify the y-intercept. Y-intercept is where it crosses this y-axis. The y-axis is vertical. It goes up and down. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so much better at drawing vertical lines. It's so exciting. And it's right there. Okay, so here's 0, and it goes down 1, 2, 3. So it'd be 0, -3. Okay, so remember y-intercept is the B. My slope is the M. My format is always y equals mx plus b. So my m is -1, so -1x plus my b. B is -3. Now there's a few other ways we could write this. This is probably the best, this is the easiest way, so if you're confused, just write this. This is perfect. Okay, another way we could write this is we could write it as y equals -1x, and instead of saying plus -3, we could say -3, because that means the same thing. That means to start at -3. It still would be starting there. The last way that we could change it is instead of saying -1x, so remember whenever you have that 1, sometimes we like it to be imaginary. So you'd write -x. And then you could say plus -3 or -3, either way. But you don't have to have that 1 there. If you type it in any of these ways into IXL today, or tomorrow, it is going to count it as right. So, and if you type it into the quiz at the end of the week, any of these ways, we will count it right. So I'm just letting you know different ways to write it, different ways you'll see it. Okay, so in order to write an equation in slope-intercept form, since it's called slope-intercept, we need to know m, the slope, and b, the y-intercept. All right, we're getting notes done all in one day. So we're going to go to the next video. If you are just looking at this to review for your IXL, this would be a good place to pause. But if you're doing your notes, I'd flip to the next